them up and put them on the board for wants and needs. It saves us a little time versus me having to write, and then whether or not it's legible, we don't know. Let's start out. Oh, yes. Okay, actually wants and needs, we don't have a shout out slide, but I am gonna do, I missed that. I do want to do some bucket fills. So first of all, I want to fill Sherry's bucket, and it's your birthday today. Happy birthday. But Sherry was gonna go to mega camp, and then she wasn't, and it was last minute. She said, I'm just gonna put it together. And I think she texted a ton of people and had a really good turnout for the watch party. So Sherry, huge thank you.
It's well worth it.
Yeah, that was huge. So thank you. I was like, that was so amazing that you did that. So big bucket fill to you. There's me starting out the bucket fill. Who else has a bucket they like to fill?
So Charlie did an open house on Saturday, just for 2 hours. She picked up there were 2 people that came through, and she found that they tired of that. Not interested in ours, which is fine, that she picked up and ready to buy it.
That's awesome.
Anybody else that wants to help support that? Got a couple for you.
Yeah, love it. Love it, love it. Okay, anybody else? Bucket fills?
Fill Rusty's bucket.
All right.
For just throwing it down in San Antonio.
Right.
What was the name of the place?
El Honky Tonk. I said when in Texas. When in Texas, we all honky tonk.
Of the 9 people in the bottle, we were 7 of them, so we know.
We want our region director to come, which is a very big deal.
Yeah.
But listen, guys, there is more honky tonkin' where that came from. So if you want Jonah's time, Jonah, you can get a hat, you can get food. We can do a whole thing
Family reunion
in Houston. Yeah, and I was like, well, this is just y'all, this is gonna become my whole personality now. So just get ready for it. Because I really did have a great time. Yes, I'm gonna start saying y'all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear boots way more. I may show up in around a cowboy hat. You don't even know what's gonna happen. So Dalton, I'm glad you had a good time. I try to I like to make sure we have fun wherever we go. Anyone else? They do add a little spice. All right. We're gonna move
I'll
on.
do one more for my
Let's hear it.
pint-sized friend next to me. I've been out of town a lot, and Steph has been so great to help and cover, and I just put her on Aligned, and because I was up in Clayton Park at San Antonio and day drinking some of the time. Or a lot of the time, and thank you for helping out.
Yeah, anything.
Great. In the market center, we have been doing, Allison, I'm gonna actually have you talk. Where were you? Where are you? I was like, I swear I saw you. My face blindness kicked in. Tell us about Breakthrough 120.
Breakthrough 120 has been pretty awesome. We are going to finish up our first 120 days. So if you guys were a part of that first Breakthrough 120 round, we're finishing up our 120 days on September 1st. So if you want to submit any of your numbers for our stats, it will help us get better the next groups. But we've had really great success from the people that have been showing up. They really are signing contracts about every 110. And it's fun to see that happen in the numbers and them to be able to predict that and gamify it.
Cool. We're going to talk a lot about stuff that we heard at Mega Camp, but nobody that was on the stage didn't bring up something in some way, shape, or form of how you're tracking what you're doing and how you figure out your results from tracking, and success is sequential and that's how it comes. And so anyway, that was really great. Today, Tuesday, we have Tech Bar with Bradley Green, the one and only. And then we have tomorrow from 1 to 2:30 contracts class with Allison and Sean. In case, I want to just say one quick thing about the contract, because I think a lot of people are talking about this online. There is a new REPC coming out. It is not officially, it's officially approved at this point now. They are launching it at the UAR convention, which is next week. And then their plan is to have it trained and rolled out officially January 1st. That will be the contract that we're using. So just FYI, I'm gonna be at UAR, Sean's gonna be at UAR, Allison's gonna be there, so we're gonna go and get a lot of good information, and then our goal is to have some trainings here at the office too, for you to come and get trained on the new contract so that you feel confident.
Yeah, it's totally
in what you're
different.
talking to people. What?
Totally different.
It is totally different.
Yeah.
A lot of the, just basically all the big information you need is on that front page, so. Anyway, that's coming up tomorrow, this will be the original rep sheet. And then Thursday, Bradley is gonna be doing Canva design with, like a pro with Bradley. So if you guys haven't dove into your KW Pro account through Canva, it really does make marketing so easy, and it really, like, anybody can do it. So Bradley's gonna be there to help us walk through that on Thursday at 11. And then on Monday at 9 a.m., we do our Power Up Zoom calls. This Monday, that we just had, that was just yesterday. Does it feel like I could go to anyone else? That was actually just yesterday. It felt like a very long day. Shauna was our presenter, and it was a great, Shauna, you like, look, your face is saying like you don't think it was successful. And it was actually really amazing. It was a great way to start the week. And so I just want to encourage you guys, it's an easy thing to jump onto. It's on Zoom. You can do it in your jammies if you want to. You can listen to it from the gym. You really can do it wherever you want, but it's been really powerful. Justin, you're on consistently every single week.
In gym clothes,
In gym clothes. Any testimonials you'd like to give?
not just put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shauna, I didn't speak up on the call, but it's great to hear different people's perspective. While I don't believe in, you were like, go 80%, and I'm like, that's not me, go 110, be sore, and I can't move at the gym. The thing I did pick up was like consistency. So I think, I guess the point that I would make, and Shauna said this a couple times, like, sometimes I feel like you're talking directly to us, which is weird, like, things are said, and you're like, wow, that was like meant for me. But yeah, if you're not doing it, do it, because you can just put it on mute and turn your camera off and set your kind of week on, hey, let's focus on this week. How's that?
That was perfect. Thank you. Weber County back to school. I guess we are celebrating this. Woo! Weber and Davis County are back to school. So everybody's back in school. Okay, as the people with children in the audience, who loves back to school time?
Oh my God, I'm sending it.
Misha's like double hands. Who was like, oh no, back to school. And probably the first day. Okay. Anna, you're cute back there. I was like, I love summer so much, but I honestly love the routine. So for me, I'm like, getting into a routine is always like, yes, let's get back to our schedule. So, all right, wow.
Chop the pumpkin.
Yes,
Chop the pumpkin.
it's the pumpkin patch client event. Not the pumpkin patch client event. This is on October 1st from 5 to 8. You need to sign up because now is the time that you need to start contacting your people if you would like them to come. As in years past, I'm just going to give a quick reminder because I do know we have some new people. The pumpkin patch works like this. You get to kind of control your budget by the amount of people that you want to invite. So this is not publicly marketed. This is to your clients that you know that you're willing to pay $6 for them to get to the door. If you want to do the hayride as well, it's $9. By the way, Black Island Farms, we actually have to sign something saying that we don't just go publicly market it for that price. They have to be like, hey, I got here because of Angela. And we have sponsors. Our sponsors will help take that price down. So if you're looking at your budget, this is how I would look at it, is to base what you want to spend and invite that amount of people. And then once, you know, if you don't fill that number, keep inviting, but maybe keep it a little VIP-ish or invite everybody. Just be prepared to pay for that. Hey.
I just want clarification. So is it $6 plus $9 extra
No,
for the patch, or is it just $9 per
$9 if you want the pumpkin patch. So the $6 gets them into the corn maze and the courtyard, which, as you guys know, have like pig races and a corn sandbox thing and all kinds of stuff. If you want them to be able to go on the hayride and get a pumpkin, then it's $9 per ticket. Now, we did clarify, I think, Vinci, correct me if I'm wrong. Katie, let's say you wanted to pay for their entrance, but your people, you weren't going to pay for pumpkins, but your people were like, oh, we want to go on the hayride. They will get a discount if they say they're with KW Success. They'll be able to buy it for $3.
if they want them there.
And it'll be the $3 price, right? Okay. So that's coming up. If you want to sign up, scan the QR code so that Vinci knows to send you all of the content. The smart plans are created and ready for you now. Justin, what do you and Jessica? Jessica's not here, so what do you want to say about this? And it is this Monday coming up.
Why have you not come to this great content?
I'm there. I'm still
Like, I don't know if you guys wanna make money, but I wanna make money and keep my money. And that's all we're talking about. It is recorded, so if you can't make it at that time, I'd encourage you to jump on some of the recordings. We're gonna start talking about dissecting a deal and what I looked at. So, yeah, giddy up.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do it.
I've been coming to these and they do bring a ton of value. You give me. Yeah. Allison and I have the rookie real estate workshop coming up on September 17th, so just a few weeks away from 11 to 5. This workshop is, as you can see, basically a full day workshop, and it is all around the foundational models to net $100,000 a year in real estate. So we actually do run through like your numbers, your budget. You'll kind of walk out with a pretty solid game plan. We talk about mindset, we talk about database, we talk about follow-up, we talk about all of this. Anything you want to say about that, Allison?
I think also if your business feels complicated, it's a good way to come in and just simplify it.
Yeah, so I think you guys probably, looking around the room, I think everybody kind of knows this, but the Rookie Real Estate Agent book just was released end of last year. And it really was kind of like the prequel to the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. So the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, as you guys know, is the foundational model to build a business that nets $1 million a year. This was like, yeah, this is great. And a lot of those principles apply regardless of the size of your business, but this is really focused on an agent who's looking to build $100,000 net income in a year. So good foundational pieces. If you are in production already, you'll probably have some reminders in there, but oh my gosh, Mish and Angela, you guys came to this class and you've both been in business for some time. Did you still find some value?
Yes, it was really good.
It's just nice to have a refresher too.
Yeah.
Or even just that, yes, you didn't.
Yeah, so anyway, if you guys want to come to this, or if you know somebody that's maybe newer in the industry, this is also one, like, we don't make calls or anything in this class. We don't have to dive into, we don't actually have you log into your CRM or anything. So if you know someone that's maybe thinking about getting licensed and they just want to know what it would look like to actually run a business that nets $100,000 a year, this is a really good invite. Or if you're doing a deal maybe with an agent that's a little bit newer and you think maybe they could use some foundational principles in their business, again, good one to have. All right, next Tuesday, September 1st, we have David Wright with Fidelity National Title. Has anyone met Dave? He did a closing for me the other day. He's awesome. I'm excited. I actually thought I'm gonna miss this because I'll be at UAR. But he is doing a 2-hour CE on seller financing. He is a phenomenal instructor, and we're excited to have him here. That is September 1st.
I met him, and
You don't
mentioned
think I think that looks like him. There's 2 days. You think I'm the right one?
the one I met did one like that.
Oh, I think it looks like him. And then another CE class the next week, all about commercial lending. Dalton, tell us a little bit about this one, because I think this is the contact of Dalton.
Yeah, Jason told me with a couple of clients, and when we were talking at one point, he said, hey, how much commercial business are you doing? Not anything I focus on, Jason. He goes, but you do all that residential. If you ever have conversations with your residential people, a lot of them have small businesses and would maybe have commercial needs, like never even thought to ask. And he said, well, that's kind of what I do, is help agents grow their business, their residential business, by helping them dig out, sort, and solve commercial lending needs within their current sphere. So that's what we can help with this, how you can help with the business a little bit in the commercial sector. And of course, he does it, so he knows how to walk through the process if you're not a everyday commercial agent, just like me.
Okay, love it.
And
And
yeah, come right up to the podium. Next week, you better come see her. Kaylee's gonna jump up here and we're going to go through. She's gonna give you all the tips and tricks, capping that first year. Obviously, the title, we're inviting the new agents, but if you're an agent that's never capped before and always get close but never quite get there, etc. I
Or
know-
honestly, if you just wanna spend more time with Colleen Haley.
I mean,
I mean,
if you're looking to hang out, 90 minutes with me, no charge.
Free. When would pay for that?
Yeah. For sure.
Okay, now we're gonna drop red. It's gonna be worth your while. Come check it out.
All right, we have, I think some of you have come to this, some of you haven't. So this Friday is the golf that Alex and Blaine put together at Barn Golf Course. It is 9 holes. They're doing it a little different this time and doing some masterminding along with it. Spots are pretty limited on this one. I think there's like maybe 8 golf spots left. I think it's halfway done at this point. So if you want to go, make sure you text Alex ASAP and let her know. You're gonna golf. There's gonna be some mastermind questions that we're gonna give you to kind of chat through as you're golfing. And then at the end, we're gonna meet back at Blaine's house, which for those of you that don't know, he lives on the Barn Golf Course. And we're gonna just do a little mastermind and chat session. So if anybody wants to come to that, make sure you text them. That is this Friday, 2:45. And be on time, or you are gonna hear about it.
And maybe clear your calendar.
What'd you, and put in your calendar.
I said maybe clear your calendar for the rest of the evening.
All right, on to these. Dalton at the top, let's talk about it.
Your Washington Terrace listing going live. So we'll be coming soon today and live later this week. It has a pretty unique feature you don't get a lot in the terrace, and it's got a 2-car, I think they call it technically a tandem, a deep 2-car. Like if you know somebody that wants to be in the terrace that needs space, this space and storage is crazy big under this. Photos will be up later. And then also, we're right at a great price.
The list at 390.
Mhm. Okay, great.
Well, I
Let's do
think Randy.
Or yeah, let the rest of us.
And they're sitting on a 2.75%, so like they just need their cash out, doesn't really matter to them how it's structured.
What?
Yeah.
It's right around 100.
Okay. Dalton, one other question on this one, sorry. Everybody got very excited about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 2-car is pretty rare. Is there a spot that they could park a small like trailer in next to that garage?
Yep.
Oh, perfect.
It's yeah, there is.
Is there a workshop?
They currently have 2 trailers on the property, not on the street. Yep.
What's the address of this property?
Yeah. We'll be taking highest and best on.
We have enough in this thing.
Tony.
He left, but I wrote him his on mine too, because
Okay, so do you want to
no,
talk
he
about
wrote
this?
it. So he has a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 700 square foot house with 0.31 acres. So it's a really old house in 1928. And I think they're gonna list low 3s. Okay, it has a shed on the property. So it's a pretty good deal. So you can reach out to Tony, you know, gonna be on pretty soon.
Wes and Julie.
Got a listing going live on Thursday. It's in Pleasant View. It's a little over 5,400 square feet, 6-bedroom, 4-bath. It's on 0.81 acres. It has a 40 by 50 shop. It's gonna be listed at $950. It also has an apartment of that 5,400. That's 1,540. It's 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Has a living room, an office, a bathroom, separate entrance. We're doing a broker open house on it on Friday from 11 to 1:30. We've got a bunch of really great prizes for you to sign up for, like a $250 consult from a designer to let people know what they need to do to their house to sell it. A $50 gift certificate to Tona, one to Table 25, $50 gift certificate to High Mountain off your inspection for your next client. and a bunch of other things that you can get into. So come to that, before going to golf, so you can have something to eat, give us your opinion, sign up to win. And then we have the open house on Saturday from 11 to 2. Below that is my condo townhome on Grand Mercy. It's listed now at 310. It's 3-bedroom, 3-bath. Has 2 parking spaces. The HOA is $375, but it covers everything except for electricity. It's amazing vibe. Bring your clients.
Two pools.
It does have 2 pools.
2 pools, okay, 2 pools and 2 parking spaces.
Yeah.
310, wow. Awesome. Okay. I have a new, if anyone's familiar with Yorkshire Meadows, I have a new condo there. It's townhouse style. Listed at 250, 2-bed, 1.5 bath. There's a community pool, carport. It's 1773 East, 5650 South. I think it's around 1,100 square feet. I should have written that down. I don't remember exactly. If you guys aren't familiar with Yorkshire Meadows townhomes, the style of this one specifically of the 2-bedroom is like the 2-bedroom with the Jack and Jill bath. So it has like a vanity area, a doorway, tub and shower, and another vanity area. So it is great setup for maybe someone who wants to live in it and rent out a bedroom, or a college students, something along those lines. Nisha and Angela.
We have a new house.
I was like, you look
Newer
confused.
house.
You look like
My fault, sorry. We just have it's a great listing. It's in a well-established neighborhood. It is, 3-bed, 1 3/4 bath. It is a split level, but it's got great curb appeal to it. A fenced-in backyard. They've redone all the floors. Yeah, brand new roof. It has, yeah, it's just great. It's coming on the market tomorrow, so.
And look how cute the yard
I
is.
want to move in.
I love it.
So. Hey. Yeah, Claudia. Jason and Claudia. Wow. We're really hard to- You're calling me that? You call me whatever. Claudia. That's Jason and Claudia smushed together.
There you go.
Or
Jason's so excited about that.
Jason's got lots of things, right? Okay, so yeah, our listing in Provo, we just had a price of $575K, and honestly, since you guys are talking about Utah County, it's in the, crap name. Okay, brain.
Yeah,
issues.
sorry, I just.
That's okay.
remembered that.
Anyway, it's Grandview, thank you. It's in, like, there's one of 5 houses listed at that price in the 500 to 600 range. Everything else is over $1 million in that particular zip code. So if anyone wants to get some buyers, honestly, I don't know what's wrong with Utah County, but none of them are represented. Like we have tons of people come to our open houses and none of them have a realtor that we're working with. So if you want to pick up that business,
So
you're
you wanna
welcome
go to
to
Utah
come to an
County?
open house. It's vacant.
That's a great price.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Justin.
I would like to sell 3 listings that are on the board.
Let's
Syracuse, 6-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom, your car garage, solar. Everybody loves solar, 2-story.
They don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for this one. So if you like a $30 power bill,
Literally die.
over. That one's at 750. It does have a smaller yard. That's like our biggest concern, our complaint. The one in West Jordan I've had for a while. We're now at $999. Which is crazy. The builder starts that home at 1.2. And then has solar as well, which is another great purchase. That will be paid for. It's all finished. It's very small community with a bunch of really nice homes. So if you want a luxury buyer in West Jordan. And then I have this Victorian that was born in 1902, and the owner suite is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. And then you can essentially cover half your payment with the other couple units. So, and the best part is it's right on 9th and 9th at just a great area, close to the U and yoga and
Coffee. Coffee, interest on that.
coffee and chicken. There's a chicken place. There's a lot of people looking that, and from the street, it doesn't look very big, but it's 4,000 square feet. So like, they've blown out the back over the years, and they're super cool. Is that, southern term you want to use? Okay, yeah,
Back to Justin.
back.
Eyes up here.
Eyes up here, Brandy. You want anything and. Yeah, so bring a buyer, it's pretty easy to show.
Awesome. Allison,
I have a good one in Centerville, 6 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms. Mountain at 675. It's great. They put new windows on it. It's got a new roof. And so it's really doesn't need any work to move into. And then South Jordan, I have a huge 6 bedroom, 3.5 bath, over 1/2 an acre. And they did, on that house, they did everything. And so they wanted me to advertise that as future proof, which I wouldn't. But, they consider it, like, they put the upgrades in to make the house. They did luxury windows and luxury concrete.
You make concrete luxury.
You put gold glitter in it.
Yeah.
Down. I can see that.
Oh.
All right, we're gonna talk about Tony's, so Steph.
So I've got one that we just lowered to 440, so great price improvement, in West Jordan. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 1 car, extra deep garage. Has a beautiful backyard and, nice deck, and anyway, so cute. Probably first time home buyer. And we're doing open house this Friday. And then I have one coming up that I'm super excited about. I could see myself living there, so it's coming soon. It's in Clinton. It's an open home. I know, right? 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 3 car garage, built in 2019, I believe. But yeah, it's really cute.
Are these
People love
the
it.
ones that are just, off 1800?
Uh-huh. Yep.
That's nice little piece.
Yeah, it's
Nielsen
cute.
one?
Uh-huh. So it'll probably be 2 weeks before they go on market.
Awesome. Sherry.
Lee, you want to tell us about yours?
Oh, Lee.
I have a cute little corner house, coming up tomorrow or Thursday in Ogden, just off of 33rd. 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, corner lot with 2-car attached garage, but you can't, it's not attached, you can't walk through the garage. It has a second partial kitchen in the basement, just has no sink, but 425 is what we're listing at. Like, this has been one owner, he's owned it for 75 years. It's a beautiful house. Like, it needs a little bit of updates, but he's done new flooring in all the upstairs, new paint, completely new roof, everything.
He is throwing the statistics so far off.
I know.
Owning that house for 75 years. All of a sudden it's gonna be like, well, 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, it's cool because all the neighbors also, like, I've met all of them pretty so far, and they've all lived there for at least.
Great neighbor. Make sure you're ready.
Yeah, so I have 2 vacant properties that the owners both transferred out of state, so they're available if anyone wants to help them open house. I have a ton of signs, and I'd be happy to throw out there for you. Great places. So Syracuse, that one.
Wait, Sherry, did you just offer you'll put the signs
I
out?
will, because I know exactly where.
That's number one reason I don't hold open houses. I'm not even kidding. One last time and I said, never again.
So the thing is, like, for Turtle Lake, there's someone that needs to, like, put them all out and take them all out. They have to be, you have to be at the house. Yeah, people are gonna start showing up. So, like, I'm happy to do that, because, like, signage has been the #1, the first open house I did, we had 4 awesome sets of people through who thought we were gonna maybe get multiple offers. Because of literally just house signage, and that's where everybody came from. So, the Syracuse one is priced at the best value in Syracuse for a 3-car garage under 30 or over 3,500 square foot. That one's just 2 square feet off of 3,800. solar owned, move-in ready, a 1/3 acre with solar owned, a riding lawnmower included, and a safe, and 2 like really awesome bridges. The other one, totally different price point in Clearfield, one of the newer condos, 275. It's the only main level. There's like 5 in there, and they're all on the 3rd level. So it's the only main level, 2 bed, 2 bath, super newer, awesome condo there. And then right now, South Weaver, it is hard to get anything decent under 600,000. Unless you want a wicked old home or an acre with a wicked old home, you can get a 525 gorgeous secluded 1/3 acre, just under a 1/3 acre with views of your drive. And then Salt Lake City coming on Friday is the Rose Park 525 5-bedroom, also with solar owned and really nicer condition for all homes.
Nice. Awesome. Good.
Got a 2-bedroom, 1 half bath, townhome in August. About 1,300 square feet, deposit and additional parking. Roof, HVAC, and heater were all replaced in the last 4 years. Water heater was replaced in November. All that's new. HOA 235 covered snow, grass.
Awesome. Anybody else? There's a lot of listings, guys. Hey.
Wow.
I have a listing in Pleasant View and it is gorgeous. We just did a price improvement. It's down to $839.
Oh, that's a good price improvement.
It is a 605 bath and almost 4,300 square feet. Home, and that's beautiful.
What did you, what's the price at now? Sorry.
$839.
That is such a good price on that. Holy moly. That's the one you had me look at, right?
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
price.
And then I have one coming in Centerville. It's a townhome, really good location. It's a 3-bedroom, 3 bath, and it's coming on either tomorrow or the next day. And then I have one coming up. We just got photos back, so it'll probably go on this weekend, maybe next weekend. But it is a twin home in Kaysville, which is really hard to find. It's in really, really good condition. She bought it almost brand new, and it will be listed at $275. It's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, but it's all 1 level, so it could be like a real home, and it's got a good yard that's fenced in on the side. It has a little garage.
Was that a 3-1?
Yeah.
Oh, I wrote 3-3. Sorry, I don't know what I was hearing, but. And then how much is your townhouse gonna be?
I'm not sure
It's
yet.
a BYOP?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Anybody else? Sean and then Kaylee.
Okay, I just have one, I have one in South Salt Lake, it's 2 bed, 1 bath. It's kind of small, so that's the negative feedback I've gotten on it, about 650 square feet, but it's on the corner and the yard is fully fenced front and back. Does have a garage, updated electrical, updated plumbing. It's got a really nice kitchen, all appliances included. I've had a few calls from my client asking if it's being rented. So I think the rentals down there are probably pretty wanted, but I'm not having good luck on it right now. So if anyone also wants to hold an open house on it, I've done like 4 or 5 so far. The last couple haven't been too good of a turnout. Prices right now, we just had a price improvement at $375, but he's super motivated.
Hey.
A lot of money on that.
There's a
I
lot
have
of
my
Sean.
Clayton listing that you guys have all seen and heard about a handful of times. It has a ton of activity. Some of you have done open houses, but we just got the price down to $699, which is actually less than any of the 4 offers we've received. The
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, huh?
yes, and the finicky old lady is finally she's finally come to terms with the reality of it, that she should have accepted the first 4 offers. So if you want to hold it, if you want to hold an open house, we already have someone for Sunday, but if you want to do Friday evening because of the views and the sunset would be awesome, and or Saturday. So
Okay.
let me know.
Awesome. Anything else?
I got one.
Who said that? Sorry. I'm gonna do it right here, Brandy.
Perfect. Okay, it is in Layton. It is a 6-bed, 3-bath. It's been updated. Sean's done some updates in it. And it's got a saltwater pool that has a brand new water pump. It's pretty. It's on Country Oaks, so it's in the nicer part of Layton. Towards the 89 side. Right? Right. Oh, price $680. It'll come on tomorrow, should be tomorrow.
Nice. Mikhail.
I've had a price reduction on one I have in Kaysville. It's now at $650. Just under 3,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. Under about a 1/3 acre lot. I've got a 4-car, huge garage, RV parking. Anybody looking for a property with huge garage space, anybody that's important, this is probably the best deal you're gonna find in Kaysville that has a 4-car garage.
Yeah, for $650. Nice. Okay, last call. Oh, we got one more. Anna in the back, bringing in the last, rounding us out.
40.
I have, price improvement for my home in Roy, 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, corner lot, remodel. That one is at $420. And then I have the townhome coming up in Clearfield, it's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Clearfield? But you still have that duplex in Layton. That's not the price.
Yeah. Nice. On your Roy one, do you have, RV parking on that, or could there be? Anna, on your Roy one, do you have RV parking?
There is parking for about 8 cars, I think 2 cars around.
Wow, okay. Hey, guys, there is a
That's a
lot
lot.
of opportunity on this board. Okay, so let's get out and sell some houses, but if we're making our calls, there's this new thing, guys, it just came out. Just do it in a TCPA friendly and compliant way.
Just yesterday, right?
Yeah, this
Okay.
is a new thing, so you might not have heard of it before. Are you raising your hand, Wes? It looks like you are.
It's a bummer because I just got this on my phone and it's someone you love that just passed away, Dolly Parton just.
What?
Yeah.
You're lying to me.
No, I'm not. I came to podcast.
Yeah, just like my grandma.
We didn't kill the 5.
That's all right. I didn't mean to.
Great timing. Someone else take over. Roughly.
You guys, I was trying to tell Brandy called me. She called like right after she got back from where'd you go?
I went to
Tennessee?
Dollywood.
Yeah, she goes, hey, do you, listen, I know we're going to Mega Camp, but do you want to go to Dollywood? Because Dolly's gonna be there
Next week.
next week. And I was like, that's like 2 days before we leave, but maybe. And she didn't go. So mad. Oh, all right, well,
USA flags that have.
hey guys, I'm gonna just take a minute and I'm gonna compartmentalize for a second. I'm gonna shut down. This is what sometimes you just stuff it down. Listen, we don't just show emotion, we just stuff it down. It's fine. We're gonna talk about Mega Camp. I'm gonna give Brandy, you can come up last, so give you a second. But, our recap panel, come on down if you guys said you wanted to be on the recap. Even if you didn't, this was the crew that came, so you guys are follow on the board. Come on down, guys. Let's see if we have enough stools. And then, I wanted to say one quick thing about this board and the market and the opportunities that are here in every market. And one of the things that I just cannot seem to get out of my head about Mega Camp was a quote that it said, you're not buying at the top of the market, you're buying at the top of a moment. And that has stuck with me so much because, do we need another one, Sean?
Your selections. Let's go. Okay.
Dalton, I thought it was coming up.
I have to say by Jason again.
So you're not buying at the top of the market, you're buying at the top of the moment. And the question was raised in that room, which I know we have raised many times in this room as well, of if you could go back in time 20 years, like I think about when I very first started real estate, the very first house I ever sold was I think like $87,000 as a condo. And the question was, if you could go back in time 20 years and buy real estate, would you buy real estate? Knowing that at that time, you were probably buying at the top of the market in people's opinions.
Yeah.
So if you change your mindset on that and think about, I'm not buying at the top of the market, I'm buying at the top of a moment. And if you're buying real estate to hold real estate, it really doesn't matter. It always ends up being a better investment. But I am certain 20 years from now, every person in this room is going to be going, damn it, why didn't I buy every house on that board? I really do believe that, because I think about every house I sold at certain points. I'm like, man, I should have bought more houses. Oh, I wish I would have bought that house, right? There was so much opportunity missed. So that was one of my big takeaways from Mega Camp, and seeing this board full today, I think tells us a couple of things. It tells us people are anxious. People are still moving. There are still real estate deals happening. We're hearing about price reductions. We're hearing about things, but that can be a lot of really awesome opportunity. And a board this full to me screams opportunity. And if we're not the ones that can speak to our clients about it, who else is going to? So anyway, I want to just kind of set the panel off in that way and just say, like, there's a lot of opportunity. There's opportunity in every single market. And I honestly have conversations where I feel like the agent themselves doesn't believe that there's opportunity in this market. And that's going to be really hard for you to help your clients. And notice I didn't say convince your clients to buy it. I said help your clients to buy it. That's going to be really hard for you to help them find opportunity if you don't see the opportunity in the market. So I'm going to challenge you today. I think there was a lot of things that were said in Mega Camp that shifted kind of my mindset and the way I was thinking around things. So these guys are going to share all their stuff, but I just want you to think, as we're talking through some stuff today, what are you doing to really look at the opportunities of the market and be able to just take advantage of what is out there? So anyway, I wanted to keep this today very casual and just really kind of mastermind-ish. You guys know on a panel, I normally send out a bunch of questions and everybody answers kind of the same questions. And I didn't want it to be that way today. We had a small group go to Mega Camp this year. I think one of the smallest groups we've ever had attend an event.
We were small but powerful.
Small but mighty. And I wanted this to just be a little bit more mastermind-ish and conversational. So I asked these guys all just to come prepared with some of their favorite takeaways, some action items they're going to do, and just some couple things. But I also just asked them to please. Can I finish the? I just want them to chime in with each other too, and I'm going to open that up to the room too. So I know a lot of you saw things in, like, you watched it live. So feel free to chime in. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to elaborate. I really want this to feel a little bit more mastermindish versus just here's what I'm reading from my notes. So yeah,
So-
apparently, Sean.
I want to start
Gentlemen first.
because, yes, I want to start because you mentioned the pricing, right? And we have a lot of talk out there that, our affordability, right? Is that really an issue that our clients face? It is, but a lot of it's in our mindset, because I started in this business a long time ago. You guys all know that. And back then they said it was unaffordable, right? I remember when I bought my first house, it was a condo actually. I went in for a loan. I applied for a loan. The loan officer said, you can't afford a tenant. And I was like, well, can I buy this? And he's like, absolutely not. You can't buy this. I found a way and I bought it. And guess how much this first one was?
57,000.
No, it was like 33,000. 33,000. And at that time, that was super unaffordable, right? And the rates were comparable to what they are today. They really are. So we've been saying this for years. Okay, so we need to get this out of our head that things aren't affordable. They're not the best price in the world, right? But imagine, what was it, just a few years ago, people were overpaying for things. We don't have that in today's market. We don't have the lowest interest rates we ever had, but they're decent interest rates, right? So one of the key takeaways that I wrote down, this person talked about the 6 keys for pricing. I don't know if you guys wrote these 6 down.
Yeah.
And number 1 was discover the why. Okay, why are they selling? What's the issue? Is it a bigger thing, like I just want to sell? I want to just be on this board because I'm bored, or do I need to sell because of a divorce, job transfer, death, something, right?
This is
Discover Sarah Reynolds. Discover the why. Number 2 was reframe the price. Number 3 was think like a buyer and not like a seller. How many of our sellers are thinking like a seller that, you know, a handful of years ago could throw a price tag on it and people were clamoring to buy it. That's not today's market, right? So you got to remind them to think like a buyer. Then sold is old, right? And what they meant by that is active is competition. Now, our appraisers deal with the history, right? They deal with the last 6 months of a comparable property. So that shows to the banks what someone actually paid and what it got valued at. But your active is your competition, because your buyers are not going to just one house, right? So that's one thing we got to show our sellers. Here's all the actives. So a buyer that calls and wants to say, hey, wait, I want to come see your awesome house, they're going to also see the 5 other awesome houses. So how does his compare to the one next door or the one down the street, right? You got to think like that, have your sellers think like that. Time on the market steals equity. You guys have all heard that one, right? And then listen to the market. And who knows the market better than us? Nobody. They think they do. They absolutely think they do, but it's up to us to educate. So like I said from the very beginning, we need to get this, everything's unaffordable out of our head. So anyway, that's what I want to start with.
Claudia, I feel like you want to chime in on some of those.
No, that's exact, no, I'm just like, I just love Sarah Reynolds.
I do too. She was so
Sad
good.
girls for a while, but I just remember, I love seeing her on the big stage. I remember going to like my very first mega camp and just one of the classrooms with her. And she talked about client events, and I was just inspired that she had reserved the entire zoo in Washington DC, or wherever she is located, right? Her first team. Yeah, there's several now, but I just thought that is amazing to be at that level, and then just to watch her journey. One of my takeaways, we went to like a couples class, and it wasn't great, but what I took away from that though was, gosh, if these people can do it, right, we can do it. And so even if I had that little takeaway, and I know that's not necessarily maybe what you want to hear, but for me going there, doing that, it inspired confidence again. I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Well, that's part of the other stuff that we talked about being fear fit,
Yes.
is having that confidence and knowing how to move from the fear into.
Right, that I felt like that was a really good theme, like
Yeah.
that Gary started with that first morning, but yeah, anyway, that was the little takeaway. I have others we'll talk about later,
Yeah.
but
A couple of things on the pricing, go ahead.
Can I plug in just a little bit? One of the things I had several ideas and kind of took away a lot, but one of them was, just keeping in mind staying listing focused, and kind of piggyback it off what Sean and Claudia just said. One thing that kind of stuck out to me was prep slow and sell fast.
Yes.
Right now, our sellers are like, okay, we want to sell the house tomorrow, let's put a sign in the yard. We really have to educate them on. They used one listing that was, I don't remember, it was a few $1 million listing.
like the 15 million.
Yeah.
But it took them months to get the house prepped, but
Months
And they
like
spent thousands of dollars.
it made the investment to put in, but it just completely blew away the competition as far as days on market and what the seller was able to net in the end.
So
Because of that.
can I chime in on just that point? So it was like 40-something thousand, but it was a $15 million house. While we were sitting there, I'm a nerd. It was like $1,200 for a $400,000 house.
Yeah.
So the seller spent $1,200. Market is $400,000 house.
2%.
So it wasn't like this crazy amount, but it sold the house. Anyway, keep going.
Another thing that they talked about kind of the same time was find 3 wows and have no distractions. And I think that's a really great rule if you can think of that. Is find 3 wows about the property, whether it's the layout or whatever it is you're going to highlight. But make sure there's no distractions, because when people are walking through, you don't want them to see those things that can be avoided or changed, and focus on the good things and not the things that would distract and take away from the listing. So simple, but very powerful if you kind of keep those rules in mind.
The other thing that I loved about this pricing was when they talked about time on market, she said, you can underlist a house, you can't undersell it.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna undersell it. You can underlist it, and that should give you.
Pricing is a strategy.
Yes, pricing is a strategy. It's a marketing strategy, what they.
That's what I'm saying,
say.
right? Pricing
Yeah.
is a marketing strategy, right? We can all do what we can do, and can I bring $8,000 to $12,000 or 8,000 to 12,000 views in the first week of a good launch of a good listing? You bet. Can I prove it? You bet. But it doesn't matter if we don't, if that seller is motivated and wants to add a little bit of fuel to the fire, well, we can do that with the right price. And they can also take all of my marketing efforts and sink the ship if they won't get real on the price that's going to sell, right? You cannot outmarket and overprice them.
Anybody else have anything on those 6 strategies? Cause I have a ton of little takeaways from that one.
On the pricing, if we could at some point in a team meeting discussing prices strategy, because that is one of my biggest pet peeves that absolutely drives me nuts. That literally the price, not just not overpricing it, is just a massive strategy, and the majority of people, there's a handful that know.
Yeah.
If you could have a team meeting.
And I do have a couple of these I'm gonna pass around to you, because I want to talk about the fact that there's a bunch of these 1-pagers, whether you went to Mega Camp or not, that you have access to, so we can go grab some of those, and both of these were pricing, because they talked a lot. Sure. Right this second, but it talked a lot about pricing listings, because, one of the things that Gary said is it's 80%. Get to that. 80% of major metro markets are currently considered a buyer's market. And so it was kind of like, check your market, see where you're at, but 80% tells us that there's a pretty good likelihood. You talk a little slower, I think, sometimes to hit those market numbers. But 80% are a buyer's market. And remember how NAR classifies the market is 6 months or more of inventory. They call it a buyer's market. Under 5 months or less, it's a seller's
Which in
market.
reality, we're still in a seller's market according to that, which doesn't feel like. But also talking about pricing, I wrote down one of them, I don't remember who it was, but someone mentioned NAR's pricing strategy as if we all should know about it. And do you guys write that same thing down? I put a question mark about it because I don't even know. I know that NAR does a lot of surveys, right, to the consumer, and I wasn't familiar with that. So I don't.
Pricing relative to the show.
I just wrote down NAR's pricing strategy with a question mark. They refer to, like, everyone should know what NAR provides every year or every other year. So.
I think it was when they had the bullseye and they had the target.
Oh, yeah.
So like offers come in and then you're getting showings, but no offers, 2 or 3% off. Right. Few showings, people are driving by over 3%, no showings at all.
And her advice on that 6th one was listen to the market. Buyers are the. So when we're listening to the market, the buyers are telling us. And by the way, this was another thing that I think it was her that said, no feedback is feedback. And I agree, we should all be courteous and give each other feedback, but no feedback is feedback. The feedback is they're not writing an offer on the property. That is the feedback. That's what you need to know. Someone walked through the property and they did not they are not going to write an offer on it.
I've got a listing where specifically someone said, I don't want to provide feedback because of some of the things that are going on out of state right now and how that can affect the buyer. So they were pretty much, their policy is no, I'm not going to give you feedback.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm starting to see less and less, but I would imagine as people hear about that and that's talked about more, I bet that's more common.
What's your buyers? You may know one of those.
And then one other quick thing on that one, think like a buyer, not a seller, under the pricing is the faster you put yourself in the buyer's shoes, the faster you're gonna sell. Right? Because everybody gets really attached to our house and our house is the best and it's the greatest out there and we raise our kids here and all the things. But at the end of the day, the faster that you put yourself in the buyer's shoes, the faster the house is gonna sell. So what do you need to do to make this that it's super appealing? Okay, I love that. Nothing else on the pricing, 6 strategies, right?
I'll endorse the buyers thing. The 2 conversations I make sure I have with every single seller is 1, here's all the things that don't affect what your house is. Don't decide what your house is, right? What you want for it, what you owe on it, what your neighbor sold for, what another agent told you it's worth, what you wish it was worth, what you have to pay off, right? It's just what it would cost to build today. There's a whole long list of things that it doesn't affect the value of your home today, right? There's only one thing that decides the value of your home, and it is the buyers, right? At the end of the day. And then shifting to get I sell a lot of homes that don't get sold the first time by other agents. And when we have a discovery call on it, I say, how did we land on the price? Well, the agent just asked me what I wanted to sell for. Oh, okay, cool.
Right.
Okay. Inversely, does anybody in this room tell their clients what the home is worth and what they should list at? 2, a little dangerous, because then if it doesn't sell, whose fault is it? Your fault. Okay. So when I sit down, I have a price band. I talk pricing bands, right? A range. And then that allows me to run a quick analogy in terms of shopping. And like we've all bought a car in this room, right? Everybody has, and we all use the apps to go searching. Okay, what does that seem a lot like? Buying houses. Oh, okay, and so I will literally make it, what's that truck cost? 60,000. Okay, so when you were shopping for that, you knew exactly what you were looking for. You looked at a bunch. It started to develop a price range, and then if it was really high, would you even go look at it? No. Okay. If it was a little bit low and seemed like a deal, would you go look at it? They go, yeah. I was like, do you think we could apply that to how we price your home? And you just watch these lights come on. They're like, oh, I kind of see what you're saying there, right? And so there's a strategy to that. And if you push a seller to think like a buyer, it helps make all of the proceeding conversations a lot easier.
So a quick comment on that was that buyers know, in most markets, the buyers know they're in the driver's seat. One comment, the other on pricing is of all the strategies, especially Sarah 6. If you don't get the pricing and masculine, that's gonna drive all the other ones as well. Like have a 90% weight and less weight as much. They're all important, but if that one's not right. It doesn't matter.
I know it's a mastermind, but I'm gonna disagree with you. I apologize. The buyer is not in the driver's seat. We as agents are in the driver's seat. If we tell our clients, we tell our buyer clients that they get to pick and choose, they get to dictate the terms, that's not accurate, right? We still got to have a win-win in order to get a deal done. I've seen offers come through where they're offensive to the sellers because buyers or agents think, and then when you say to the agent, where did you come up with this? They said, well, that's what we feel it's worth based upon the competition. I'm like, show me where your comps are. Like, I don't want to get in a fight with them, but there are agents out there that are just throwing mud on the wall and seeing what sticks. And that's not how we sell real estate. It's you have a conversation back and forth, what your seller wants and what my buyer is going to pay. And then we come to terms. And if it looks good, we put it together and we get it to the finish line, right? We don't just willy-nilly throw an offer out there and because our buyer's in the driver's seat. We are, as the industry, our agents are in the driver's seat.
So I would absolutely understand that. I'm saying from nationwide, from Tom Ferry Summit, people coming back from that with the top massive producers in the nation, they are just generally saying that the buyers feel like they're in the driver's seat right now. Doesn't mean they are, and they're not in every market, or are the agents. I'm just saying that generally speaking, the sentiment, like buyer sentiment and seller sentiment, that generally nationwide buyers are feeling like they're in the driver's seat. I mean that they are, but that we don't understand how their mentality is. We have to educate the buyers as well in each market if they are or aren't. That's just their sense. Nationwide, that's from Ferry or whatever the summit is that just happened.
Awesome. Who wants to go next? Sure. Wait. Justin.
I'll talk, so I wrote some notes on Simon Sinek's talk.
So good.
So he talked about relationships, that all relationships are the same. And he made this analogy that he's like, hey, you go out with my friend and he's good looking and successful. And then he said, friend sits down for the date. He's like, make a lot of money. I have a lot of really nice things. I know famous people, and everybody in the room is like, yeah, don't date that guy.
He's a douche.
Right?
Yeah.
That guy's a douche. And unless he has a lot.
I mean,
I have it recorded if you want it. It was great. And he said, how many of us are doing that we're sitting here saying, I sell a lot of houses, I make a lot of money, I do all these great things, and you look like a douche. So then he comes back and he says,
yeah, we say it on our social media. We say it in our listing presentations. We say it when we meet with buyers.
Yeah.
So he wasn't referring to he's just saying it collectively as an industry. That's how we kind of come across.
yeah. Yeah. So then he says, okay, we'll do it like this. If the guy sat down and he's like, she says, like, tell me about yourself. And he's like, you know what? I love what I do. I get to do what I love. And luckily enough, I've done it for a time. I'm more successful. And I've actually sold some houses to some famous people. And hey, I've got this great house. Maybe you want to come by sometime. And everyone was like, that sounds great.
it's just the way you present it.
It was the same message. It was just how he like framed it, that changed. So he said, tell a story about your favorite client. He said, think of your favorite client, like how excited you were about your favorite client and all the passion that you have that you're like, I was able to help this famous like this client of mine accomplished all these goals and tell that story. When you're in a listing presentation, they're like, why would I pick you? And you're like, you know what? I helped a guy that was just like you. He was had these similar goals. Can I tell you a story real quick? Right? And tell that story instead of saying, yeah, I sell a lot of real estate. I make a lot of money. You should pick me. So, and he also talked about 8-Minute Friend. I've had a lot of suicide in my life, and he talks about 8-Minute Friend. And I thought that was really great too.
Yeah, I think we should go with a little deeper than that.
Yeah. The 8-Minute Friend.
So what he referred to is it takes, and I don't know what study he was quoting, but it takes 8 minutes to connect with someone on a deeper level. And what I'm talking about is someone that you know. And it's almost like when he was talking about it, I wanted to write down, I don't remember how many hugs Mo used to say you had to do. In my mind, I was thinking that falls in that same category. A lot of times when someone's feeling down or they're having a not so good day, an 8-minute conversation doesn't have to be an hour. He was saying just 8 minutes alone can diffuse most people's situations.
This would be someone you're already friends with. It's because I heard you go 8 minutes. We probably won't connect in 8 minutes, right? But the idea behind it was that there's people in your life that you care about, but how often are you like, oh, I need to call Justin, but I don't have an hour to talk to Justin. Or, you know, I want to have that conversation, but I want to make sure I've got time and I'm focused and I can have the conversation. When the reality is, he's like, just make the call and have the people in your life. The thing that I loved is he said he has a friend that's like a very good friend. And he had been thinking he needed to call her. And he says, finally I get on the phone and I'm like, hey, I have a few minutes or whatever. He goes, how are you doing? And she goes, I'm better now. And he was like, what? And it was like, I'm better now because last week was really hard and I needed you. And he's like, you needed me. And she had just sent a text of like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Or something like very
Other
general.
day or something like that.
Yeah. And he goes, we need a better code. And so their code was essentially like, do you have 8 minutes? And if he gets that text or she gets that text that says, do you have 8 minutes? He's like, there is no meeting that you can't step out of to go have an 8-minute call.
Yeah.
There is no place that you can't show up 8 minutes late to because you pulled over your car and have an 8-minute call with someone who needed you. And I love what he said, you know, you can live without getting married. You cannot live without a friend. Like people need friendship in this world. And I just like, honestly, everything he said was so good. That was, that to me was like, how many people in our life that we're just like, oh, I want to connect with them. But literally you could just, if you have 5 minutes, he's like, and even just start out with conversation, I only have 5 minutes, so I'm at my next appointment, but I miss you and I just wanted to say hi.
Yeah.
I just wanted to connect.
I think the biggest
really
point
powerful.
was like, the people like reach out, but they don't say, hey, I need help. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, Julie, how are you? I haven't seen you for a while, right? And you don't hear me say, hey, I really need you to call me.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, well, I don't know you just said, how am I? I'm great. Talk to you later. Or sometimes I get those and I don't even respond because I'm like, they're
Yeah, you
fine.
never respond to me.
I'll talk to them later and telling people, hey, if you need 8 minutes, I'll stop what I'm doing. So
I think part of it is just lack of connection these days, right? Like we look at how many people have wrote on your wall for happy birthday, your birthday, like 100, but how many people did you get a call from? What he talked about? He said a grown adult got a call from one person. Like he had 100 people already, you know, text him or write him whatever, and he's like, you're the first person to call me.
it was like late afternoon too.
Yeah.
It was
And
like,
actually
you're
talk to me.
the first person to actually pick up the phone call.
I think it's a
I'll
reminder
be
of,
there 8
we
minutes.
think
You don't
about,
always have
think
time.
about all the, oh, I should do this, but it's like, really, you got time, you gotta make it a priority. You know, when you're thinking about somebody, even if you do have 5 minutes, call them.
Yeah. His talk made me think of this, and this was never mentioned there, but I just, it resonated with me that we have so many friends that we are friends with on social media, right? People that we interact with on occasion on their posts, or sometimes you message things back and forth. And if you saw them at the grocery store, you probably wouldn't talk to them because your relationship is virtual.
Mhm.
However, you have a best friend from high school or junior high or something that you're not even social media friends with, but you haven't seen forever. You would stop in the grocery store and you could talk to him for 30 minutes. So it's like, why are we as a society like that? And it's absolutely crazy that we've forgot the human connection.
We've gotten so used to just doing it online
Mhm.
and not doing it in person too.
Yeah, he said, don't undervalue your friendships. Every single area of your life gets better if you nurture your friendships. Do not be lazy with your relationships. And I think that like putting that back into real estate context, is like, these are, we say all the time, this is a relationship business, but how often are we really taking the time to like nurture that relationship? Because it is a relationship, you know?
You
And
know,
it does take work.
and speaking of a relationship, we, this fine group of people up here. Some of them I've had a bond with before, but now we have even a stronger bond, just because, what's that saying, when you break bread with someone? Like, we spent a lot of time together, and we broke bread together multiple times, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. Not because of the content, but because of who we were with, and the fact that everyone was, I don't know, uplifting, and we heard some funny stories, it's different than just hearing the people on the panels. It's the people you're with, it's the relationships of the people in this room.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking with like Keller Williams, guys, we're a family. Like, if you go anywhere else, you lose that family. So.
And there's people in this room that are my 8-minute people in here, that I can text them and say, hey, we all care about each other, guaranteed.
With Simon Sinek, did you guys have, while we're on his topic, anything else you wanted to share from him? Or any other takeaways you have from him?
That it was cold.
I was like, you know, it's chilly in this room when the keynote's like, it is freezing.
I know,
It
you
was
guys said
so
that,
cold.
and we were
At one
here,
point,
we're like,
I went snuggled into the person next to me and Dalton's like, "Clever," and I go, "Dalton, we're gonna need to be touching arms at some point." Snuggle into this row, it is cold. And Dalton was like, "Note to self, we were seeing after lunch." He's like, "Weird, I'm on the other side of the auditorium, fine, don't worry about it."
I would say, as far as Simon Sinek goes, if you ever have an opportunity to hear him speak, take it.
Yeah.
Take it, because he was phenomenal, and he's not like a big rah guy. He's super humble and mellow. However, the way he speaks and his level of energy can radiate, it's just insane. Like, he can uplift a room. I'm not saying he's like Jesus or anything like that. However, he radiates at a higher level than the average person.
I put this in perspective. My friend and I literally have a Twitter account making fun of Simon Sinek, because I just like, this guy's just total sound bites. Like, he's just like, stuff he says is so asinine and just basic and bad. And so I was not that fired up to see him. And they did a different type of approach with him. They didn't have him come out with a canned speech. They had him come out and be
interview.
a thought leader kind of interview, high level stuff with Gary Keller and Jason Abrams. And by the end of that, I was like, wow, okay, so that guy actually does have a lot of deep to him. So if you do get a chance to see him, it's worth it. You can't go harder 180 than what I did when I was.
And Rusty, so what I was suggesting, when you were gone, is we have the full Gary Keller and Wealth, the full Simon Sinek, is Fear Fit, and then Phil Jones, that if we could potentially plan before team meeting.
Yeah.
For people that come in and get the whole thing, it was killer amazing. Good. And for Simon, just FOF, focus on friends. And
Yeah.
let people know you are a friend and have 5 minutes for them.
I loved a couple things that he said. If you pursue success for your benefit alone, you will be alone. And that one I was like, yeah, like there, you do see, like, you know, and he even said things like money doesn't buy everything. It can definitely make you happy from your yacht or whatever he said. He goes, it doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy the yacht to go along.
Yeah.
Right? Like, obviously we're all in this room. We want to make money. We're not here because we needed an extra hobby and we thought selling real estate would be fun. Maybe some of us did, but we're still in this room.
But I don't want to be on a yacht by myself.
No, you can, Brandy.
I got you.
I'm that friend for you. I will
Me
always
too.
come on your yacht.
That's what everybody says. It's by yourself.
Thompson trying to call my people.
But I thought that one was really awesome. Money doesn't buy options. And then he did talk too about how he said, if you just can focus on relationships all have skills that are transferable. So if you genuinely care about people and you use that, and that skill set will translate into all other areas that can help you be successful. And he used the term of like, what do you really truly believe about people? Because that is inherent in your body. And like, if you're rolling your eyes in your head, it comes across in your voice, right? So like, even if you're not physically rolling your eyes at someone, but you believe something about that person or about that topic, and that's just ingrained in who you are, that's going to come across in the conversations that you have. So really like check your eye rolls internally and externally, I thought was a really good one. What were some of the other ones?
We talked about how that was like his mission. It's just making more connections and inspiring, because he can't do,
everybody in the world, but he can inspire us to then in our sphere, right? And I was just thinking, I think that's why he radiates so well. I think he's found his mission and his why, and is just doing it at such a high level. I just, unlike Dalton, I went in knowing who he was and liked him at first.
Me too.
Yeah. And I was like, I remember I had some tears after, and Dalton's like, yeah, big surprise. But I mean, yeah, just right. Like, I just think there's something inspiring about somebody who's found their mission and succeeding at such a high level.
We saw him at the airport afterwards
We did.
too.
You did?
He was good laugh. We didn't approach him because he had like hundreds of KW.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're like, I'm not doing this.
Like Forrest Gump running down the road.
Yeah.
It was like that. But yeah, he stopped to talk to him.
I would have been a fangirl.
That's awesome. Okay, but do you know that I have 13 messages from everybody telling me,
I know my phone is blowing up right now.
are you okay? No. I'm not
Literally,
okay.
this is I just got one from my niece in Seattle.
I have 13.
I have so many messages. Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
Good thing you told us in advance.
all.
We could compartmentalize.
Okay.
I was like,
I'm with you.
Okay, all right, who else has something they wanna share, not Simon Sinek? Or Simon Sinek, whichever you want.
Who was the guy before him that was talking about his relationship with his children? He reminded me of like a really cool pastor.
John, oh, yeah,
I loved him.
He was a preacher, he was a preacher.
Bible salesman.
No, he wasn't,
He
he was
wasn't
still,
selling any Bibles.
he wasn't selling a Bible, but he
John
was selling.
He wasn't, I'm not just that one self-righteous girl, but.
Yeah,
liked him.
I didn't like her.
What did you like about him?
Do you know what? I loved his conversation, something that I've adopted with my teenagers. Like to go for a drive, because if you're not looking at each other, there's not as much pressure. Like my daughters, I'll find that they'll open it. I'm like, girl, I need a Diet Coke or whatever, right? And I don't like Coke. Why did I say that? Coke Zero. So anyway, we'll go, yeah. And so we'll go, but there's something about like, we're on walks, right? If you're side by side. And I remember he was saying he did that too. I was like, oh, I do that, because they'll open up.
he did that to force them to conversation.
Well, yeah, he did it to force them. They can't jump out of the car.
Yeah.
For one. And it was two, like, they were on the same team. So I
Yeah.
relate that, like, when we're sitting across the table from our clients.
Yes.
And we like scoot around and say, okay, how do we get this done together versus like this argument, like you're either winning or I'm, like, that's how I kind of like, hey,
that.
we gotta sit next to each other. What's the plan together?
Focus on the lane.
To like, we're in this together, we'll get there together.
Well, it's the same thing, win-win or no deal.
Yeah, so there were 3 points. Did you guys catch them? So it was the message, the moment, but do you remember the third?
The culture.
Modality.
Modality.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Bill Jones.
that went so in line with what he was talking about.
Great.
The thing that I wrote down, I actually did love him because listen, guys, you know, I love to go to, like, I love a good sermon. And this guy.
He took me to church a little bit,
He
yeah.
really did.
Yeah.
And he, like, I feel like I should have probably lived in the South and been a Southern Baptist, like that.
I think
feels
you
kinda
are,
like my
yeah.
jam. I am, I think inside. But anyway, he said, culture isn't what you say it is. You can say it's whatever you want. It's how people feel when they're in the game. And that's the culture of your team. That's the culture of your office. That's the culture of your family. That's the culture of your friendships. That's the culture of your church you're in. He's like, you could say whatever you want. You can put it on a wall and have it be whatever you want, but it's how people actually feel. That's the culture. It's not what you say it is. It's the culture of what it was. And then I loved this too, because I think that this is something, I think there was a lot of conversations kept coming back to communication
Yes.
and clarity and like with your clients, right? He said expectations that live only in the leader's head, and you could swap leader with agent, turn into frustrations that live in the team. And you could swap team with seller, buyer, client, whatever, right? So expectations that live only in the leader's head turn into frustrations that live in the team. And I really took that one and I started thinking through a couple of things, because I've had a few situations this year that I felt like I communicated really well. Like I talked with you, Dalton, about one of them. I felt like I communicated really well with my client, but at the end of the day, there was just this underlying frustration and friction that I couldn't quite figure out. And so it's caused me to kind of like go back through all my processes and go, am I doing a really good job at this point, having a really clear communication and setting the expectation instead of it just living in my head, because it's going to lead to frustration. So I thought that was brilliant from Sean too. I also will say I loved him, but I would have been terrified to be one of his kids.
Oh,
Right.
no. I mean, you had to go on a 5-hour drive just to go.
on a date. Yeah, I would have been very,
What do you
very.
like about my daughter? I'm like, I don't know, I don't even know her.
That's why Mom, he's like,
He's a little much on that.
it was a little much.
That's our, but
All right, that's what I was getting. Who else?
Well, he also said, that culture always trumps everything. And
Yeah.
it's funny, because I was just finishing Mo's book finally, while we were like on all the flights and everything, but that's the same thing that is her big thing, right? And
Standards
you
what
walk-
you tolerate.
Yeah.
When I listened to him, I was like, oh man, it's the Mo message,
Mhm.
standards what you tolerate, culture is what you tolerate.
Yeah.
Makes a good point that bad culture, the cancer is, so you gotta cut it out fast, and it can be real difficult to cut it out, but that's where you fall back to the standard. Do we tolerate it? Do we not? And I think that's how you run your business, right? I mean, cancer can be your client. You work with cancerous clients. For the new people, you'll get there one day. For
You'll
those of us that are there, you know, the best feeling in the world is when I decided, I'm like, this person is not
Not
worth
worth
it,
it,
doesn't fit my culture, they're not gonna be a part of a good teammate to get done what they're trying to get done. And axing your first client where you're like, we're just not a good fit, right? You can obviously, you own the blame, make that easier, but you know what really the underlying principle is, like, apply that to everything in your life, whether it's your family or business. Big stuff. He was a really good speaker. I've never heard of him before, and
Reach it, Dalton.
Yeah, I gave it a follow. He's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
give him a follow.
Yeah.
He had some great. And I took notes. The whole thing about the daughter of the driver.
That was too much.
That was super. Your daughter is super concentrated on the son-in-law has no balls. That's what I got. Like, that's great. More power to you. That's great that you do it that way. You're perfect fine. Okay. But all this stuff as it relates to culture and how we are cultural animals and we operate the same way, whether it's an interpersonal communication with clients, with family, with friends. I thought that was brilliant. I thought it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other part I can do with that. I'm glad you guys went to church. I was like,
Well, we like. No, that one we were like, that was like.
I don't need to select my daughter. Thank you.
I took a ton of notes on social media and AI and stuff. So should we shift gears to that? So, I don't know if you guys, the rest of you did, but like, that could be a whole hour class. The one guy that, there's the guy that he found his, I'm gonna give a quote. They were saying they said it throughout the whole thing, but someone said it at the beginning and then it followed, but they said niches create riches. And, there was a guy who found his social media niche and it's making reels of the homes, right? So he goes and does all these tours. And what he said is use a 4K 60 speed and then use a gimbal. That's all this guy does is do like, and he gets a ton of people following him.
Yeah, so the 100
because-
homes a year.
Yeah, just insane.
Here I am happy just to get 3 or 4 from my social media. He's getting
Yeah.
hundreds.
Let me get 3 or 4.
Then someone said this, you must win the beauty contest online. And they're not referring to us. They're referring to a few key things in a home, right? It could be the backyard, it could be the kitchen, could be something, but it's got to win the beauty contest compared to the competition.
Wasn't there more of that? There was a longer quote than that.
That's maybe I'll still type in win that.
He said something.
It's back to being between the beauty pageant and price.
Yeah,
Right.
I think there's 2 people. Sarah Reynolds.
she tied it, Sarah tied it to the pricing as
Yeah.
well, right? Yeah. But
Back to that
Pete,
market.
Pete doesn't have to worry about price because he's selling in Pebble Beach.
Right.
I'm just kidding. Of course, he has to worry about price, but it's a different world.
Oh, that's what it was. I'm your guide to win the beauty contest online. Is what he said. So
Yeah.
like, why do I pick you? I'm
Oh,
the
yeah,
guide.
his differentiator. That was his
Yeah,
differentiator.
I'm the guide that's going to help us win the beauty contest online. So this is how we're gonna
Beauty
position. Yeah.
You know, and how many of us hire a professional photographer and they go out and take great pictures, but we don't talk to the seller about the strategy behind those great pictures. So, there was a ton of stuff on AI and on, some of them is, reels gotta be, let me find that one,
I think there are some one pagers on those too, so.
30 to 45 seconds. There was a ton of stuff on that.
Yeah, and part of this, so there's the marketing piece of it, and there's also the, how do we show up online as realtors? When they Google search and it comes up as the AI results, are we showing up as part of those results? There was a prompt that the office put out like 2 or 3 weeks ago that was really good. That we actually, I had started before we went to make camp kind of reinforce that. It basically says pull the 2 agents in the area that have the greatest AI presence and compare it to what I'm doing, and then give me suggestions. And we started doing that. It's awesome. It's stuff that we need to do that we have, there's gaps in how AI sees us as a business.
And someone said captions are more important than sound. And when they broke that down, it was because there's a lot of us that will be in a meeting or in a class or in something, and we're scrolling as we're sitting there bored in the back of the room, which I can probably see some of you doing it, that you don't have your sound on, but you're scrolling through looking at stuff. So that's why the captions are more important. And then someone else said, and I don't know if this is in one of the extra classes I went to, if you find out the most trendy song that's happening, there are versions of playlists that play those songs. So you can find out the top downloaded song, the top played song, whatever. And there's instrumental versions of those songs that's out there. And if you use that, it'll create it and then tag it to you. So now let's say whatever song is out there, I don't know a good popular song because mine wouldn't be popular, but let's say Wade did that. And then someone goes on there, he falls into their feed. Crazy. Yeah, just some cool stuff.
And we can share out, because like I said, there is a bunch of content that if you guys scan this is going to take you, you're going to have to log into your Command account, but this takes you into Connect. And even if you don't go to this link, just log into Command, go to Connect and type in Mega Camp 2026. That's where these one pagers came from. So there's a bunch of the one pagers. There's the state of the country address or whatever's in there, the slides from a bunch of Gary's stuff. I do think it's probably worthwhile for us to do like maybe even get the slides from his wealth section that he did, and we can do that in a team meeting because that was super impactful. And then there was several that were just like, man, the Corey Perlman, if you guys didn't see him, he was incredible. He's a social media expert, but he talked a ton about that was the first guy that said the riches are the niche. Obviously that's not the first person ever to say it, but he was the one that said that. And it really was talking about like, you've got to be visible and just narrow your audience. If you're too general, nobody's going to find you. You have to narrow your audience so that people that you want to connect with are going to find you. And that would be one of the big takeaways.
He did that. So he had us all stand up and then he said, okay, how many of you, what was these questions?
It was like,
Think of a client.
Right now we're working with a buyer or seller. Have a listing and they're also buying.
And then he started qualifying the listing, the characteristics of the sellers.
Like how many of them have kids? How many of them have this?
Growing
And then
family.
how many have a growing family?
yeah, and then you got to the point where the room of 4,000 people, there was like 20 people standing up, and he's like, market to them. So like of the people you want, narrow down so much that you're marketing to the guy that just had a baby and might want another one.
His analogy was, don't be a squawking parrot, be a wise owl.
It's either
Squawking parrot's just like putting stuff everywhere, but a wise owl is going deep with.
Let's see the one that wrote, said strategy, then your content. So have your strategy before you come up with your content and make it visible and have it have authority. And then that helps create the trust with the consumer. And then that makes it easier to convert. I don't know if he was the same one saying that, but those are the notes I wrote.
Okay, we're out of time. Everybody give us an action item and then we can share our notes out too, but this is a good resource for you guys to find the one pagers and some of the slides from the people that shared. Action items.
Bill Jones, stop creating content, start creating answers, and then create content that is an answer at least once a week.
Love it.
Are we going in?
I'd say run that AI prompt that the office sent out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so we're working on our brand because I was a sole agent for a minute, and so we're trying to make sure our brand is equal on like realtor.com, like all the places. So that's for us. We're making sure our brand is
consistent. Love it.
I kind of narrowed mine down to 4, because normally I have one that's specific in the business, but there, even just Gary's opening one about the mindset and finding your why. Got kind of a personal goal around just revisiting that and making some adjustments to my listing process and pricing specifically. And then the last one would be really just kind of leaning into the social media thing I look forward to. Or just making sure that I can be found and being more intentional with the market. Blast it out there.
Mine is to have more of an online presence. This is gonna take more than just a minute, so I apologize. When they were talking about like the consumer uses Gemini, right? Because in the old days, we used to call a library or places, but now you put your quote, your whatever you're looking for, you don't even read what Google gives you. You just read the Gemini caption, right? Most of us now, or we put it in our chat for a search. And then someone talked about, have you searched yourself in there? And if a consumer does, that doesn't really know you, are they going to find you? If they put a top agents in Miami, are they going to find you, right? Or top agents in Layton, are they going to find you? Or are they going to find someone else? And how you create that presence is you got to post a lot. You got to have a bigger thing, a bigger online presence. And that was like a stab in the heart. Like I've been around for 30 years and no one knows that because I'm horrible at social media, right? So in one of the masterminds I went to, this is insane that this is considered the social media warm-up track. This is just a warm-up. 2 reels a week, 1 carousel a week, which I don't even know what that is. And then 3 stories a day. That's considered warm-up. That's more than I do in a month.
No, but you're doing better.
The rhythm track is 3 reels a week, 2 carousels a week, and 5 to 7 stories a day. And believe it or not, this is what influencers do. 5 reels a week, 3 carousels a week, 1 story series a day, and then 2 collabs with other people per month. Like that's a whole, even the warm-up track is a whole.
I think I'd write that out. We can share that out. Yeah, we'll see that. Brandy, action.
For me, my action is to be fear fit, because that's something that just in my personal life, because I think if I show up better for myself, I'll show up better for my clients.
Mine be telling stories, that creates that attachment of like, this is why I do this. And then like you guys talked about social media, like how do I be found and like, how do I find my people? Because I just want to work with cool people.
Love it. Okay, big round of applause. I think we need a 2-part series of that, because I don't know if we even scratched the surface, but we did mention, I think we are gonna try to do some little pre-team meeting replays, so if that's something you're interested in, watch for that to come. Big thank you for you guys for showing up and coming to Mega Camp, and if that didn't give you FOMO for Houston, I don't know what you're telling, but if you want to summer El Honky Tonkin, come to Houston with us. Okay, Jared. Hi. Good. This is Jared Vanez. He is with White Pine Media. I'm gonna give you just that way. Yep. Absolutely. Let me move mine.
Thanks for gonna stand here.
Yep.
The right one goes forward. Cool. So guys, some of you guys know me, some of you guys don't. Quite a few of you, looks like, know me. For the ones of you that don't know, for the ones of you that don't know me, my name is Jared Jimenez. I do real estate photography in northern Utah, anything between like Logan to, how are you, to Lehigh, is generally what I cover. Been doing this for about 3 years now. For those of you who do know me, you probably know my company was Just Pinned in Utah, is what we've been named since the beginning. We've recently rebranded in the last months, rebranded to White Pine Media. Same company, the processes and the standards are pretty much the same. We are making some tweaks to the services, but all, you know, in the name of bringing you guys the best service possible. The old links, if you guys have like the old booking links, the old login links, they're still active and they'll redirect you to where you need to go. But these are going to be the new links, and I'll have some QR codes at the end too. The main page is just whitepinemedia.co. That's going to have all your booking login information. If you need direct links, it's going to be book.whitepinemedia.co.
www.whitepinemedia.co/login/book for the booking. Otherwise, everything's gonna be the same. You have access to all your old shoots, everything we've done in the past is still intact. So really, this is just a reintroduction of myself and my business right now. What we're doing. But for you guys, has anybody ever lost a listing to another agent before? Yeah, seems like part of the business, right? So what we try to specialize in is getting you guys the next listing, winning you guys the next listing. As a byproduct, of course, selling your current one, but using your current one to build the case for the next one is what we do. So our goal is for marketing to be the last thing that holds you back from winning that next listing. Right, so your current listing should be building the case for your next one. It should be building your portfolio for your next one. Does anybody know the name Joe Girard? Yeah, so he's a salesman, a Chevy dealer salesman from like the 70s. When I was younger, I read one of his books, and one of his chapters always stuck with me. It was called The Salesman That Waits His Turn, Takes His Chances. And so in the book, he describes how in car dealerships, there's usually like 3 or 4 salesmen on the floor at any given time. And you rotate who approaches the next client that enters the door, right? And so everybody waits their turn, that way everybody has a fair shot at landing their next sale. Imagine you're a salesman and you waited your turn and you show up to introduce yourself, and the client that walks in, or the person walking in, says, "Is Joe here? I'm here to work with Joe." So that's pretty frustrating. So he's actually been, he was fired from one of his earlier jobs. He put in a lot of sales. The way he does it and the way he describes it in the chapter that I remember, he talks about on his downtime while he was waiting for that next person to come in. He talks about how he was sending letters, handwritten letters, mailers, business cards, making phone calls. This was the 70s, so marketing was a little different back then, right? But some of it applies. But that's what he was doing. So while everybody else was waiting and kind of just, waiting around for the next person, he was putting in the marketing and the relationship building effort so that the next person that walks through the door literally would ask for him. So he sold on average, I think it was in 1973 on average 6 cars per day, which is crazy numbers for car dealers. And so this is like a real life model that worked for him. In real estate, what that means is you don't win the listing at the appointment, you win it before you actually get into the room, right? So this is where we come in. We try to help this loop happen for you guys. We can call it the next listing loop. So phase 1 is your media goes live, right? So it's great media that goes live, makes your house look like the best option on the block. Phase 2 is going to be sharing it, getting it seen, getting it shared. Obviously, you guys know online presentation matters now more than ever. It's essentially the same thing as your own presence. And then phase 3, you have the seller that comes back around and calls you first before you have to call them, before you approach them. This is where we try to help you build this case, make this happen. And so, a real life example of this, we have Sarah. She's one of my clients. She specializes in porch properties. So we did not too long ago a shoot out in Marion, which don't remember where that's at. It's like somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So, but it's out there. We did a shoot out in Marion for one of her properties. She posted it. The video did well. It performed. I think it's currently at 127,000 views. So it did well. But more importantly, the next shoot that we met at was her next listing. The next time we met was her next listing. And I asked her about the seller, how she met these guys, right? She's always dealing specifically with porch properties. And she's like, well, the last video that I put up did well. This homeowner, she saw it and she reached out to me and said, hey, I have a house that I want to sell too. It's also a porch property. Will you sell it for me? So she bypassed everybody, went straight to her. So that's a perfect example of what we're actually trying to accomplish here with you guys. So that's it. That's the main bulk of what I have. Some updates and some offerings for you guys. For new agents, anybody that I haven't worked with, I always offer free upgrades for new people. Usually we do like videos, and I have a QR code on the next slide for you guys too, that you can sign up, get your information in, that way we can save your spot for that. For those of you who I already work with, this is a new thing that we're starting to offer. We're kind of in the beta phases of it, but we're offering collaborative posting. So essentially the idea is we'll offer to post the videos that we film for you on your behalf. And the way we do that, we don't need to log into your account. We just use collaborative posting on social media, on Instagram and Facebook. So we'll schedule the actual post. We'll run the caption by you to confirm the caption. And then once it goes live, all you have to do is go into your DMs and click the accept on the invitation that you're seeing, that pops up there. So that's what we're starting to offer there as just a way to kind of bring more value to what we do. It's not going to cost anything. It's just going to be part of working with us and shooting videos with us. By a raise of hand, for my own kind of reference, for my own market research, how many people would that help to have somebody to post their videos for? Cool. That's a good amount of you guys. Cool. So that's what we're going to start doing. It's going to be an optional thing. If you want, we can get that set up for you guys. And then lastly, Titus Pay. Has anybody heard of Titus Pay? So it's just a third party. It's a third party that we are collaborating with. What it's going to offer is close at pay for you guys. So especially if you guys are, if anybody here is kind of doing lower numbers, maybe you're doing 3-4 listings a year, 1 to 4 listings a year, it can be hard to pay up front for what you want to be done for your listing. So with Titus Pay, what it offers is it'll pay us outright, but it'll waive the fees for you guys. It won't add any, what's called interest. It won't add interest for fees so long as you pay the balance at closing. So that's another option for, if you need the extra help or doing lower numbers and, but you want a little bit more marketing material, but you don't want to have to pay for it up front. That's going to be another good resource for you guys. That's pretty much all I have for you guys. This is a QR code right here on the left. If you're a new client, sign up there. That way I can get you in my system and I can make sure that you get a free upgrade or a free video on your next shoot. And then on the right, that's just direct link to the booking page in case you guys are already booking, ready to book. New information right here, team@whitepinemedia.co. My phone number is the same. My work line is the same. And if you have my personal number, that's the same too. Instagram is @whitepinemedia.co. We have a new Facebook page, White Pine Media. So everything's in the White Pine. It's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Any questions?
I have a comment.
Yeah.
I love working with you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Your brother was very nice.
Oh, that's yeah, I'm whipping him into shape.
You guys go on to his social media and check out his videos that he did on the $16 million property in Huntsville.
Huntsville? Yeah, that was a good one.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
He did such a great job.
that was a fun one for her.
I've been using Jared for quite some time, and we all know sellers don't make their houses as perfect as we would like them to. And there's been times where he's gone in and AI'd or Photoshop, whatever we call it nowadays, and like cleaned off stuff off the countertops, removed stuff off the fridge, added fire in the fireplace, things like that you wouldn't even think about, that he's made look better. And I don't have what I would call an artistic eye. And there's been times where he's like looking at a room and he'll go, hey, move that. And then you move it to the side, snaps a few pictures, and then you move it back. Just because he's got a different eye than most of us. And it just makes the room like, wow, this house looks way better. Right. And he's good with that. Anyway.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Any questions? Anything I can answer for you guys while I'm up here? Yeah.
I'm part of the one available with him. He connected and we've used Jared a lot. He's great, he's available. Clients really like him. He can photograph stuff that's not really that great. Doesn't look great.
Try.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is all I do. So I usually have some sort of availability within the next few days. So if you guys need an extra hand, or if you need to upgrade your content, anything like that, or if you just want to take advantage of the posting, that's going to be another one that we're going to be offering from now on moving forward. So we'll be probably working it into the actual order form in the booking page too. That way, if you're ordering video, you can just check it off and we'll streamline the process, just as fast as possible.